Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Celtic got a massive boost tonight before the Champions League game tomorrow evening against Lazio. We're going to talk about them in a minute, but Celtic got a massive boost. There was pictures released earlier today that showed Cameron Carter-Vickers training with the squad. Brendan Rodgers was then asked at the news conference today whether Cameron Carter-Vickers would make the team or not. Cameron Carter-Vickers may make an early return to the first team tomorrow evening. He could be in line for a surprise recall when Celtic host Lazio in the Champions League. The centre-back has not played since suffering a hamstring injury against Aberdeen on the 13th of August. That feels such a long time ago now, the 13th of August. With Gustav missing through suspension with his red card against Feyenoord, Rocky's still injured, Stephen Welsh is still injured. Brendan Rodgers and Celtic have limited options in defence. Liam Scales is obviously set to continue following his impressive recent form. He's been absolutely on fire this season. Whilst on loan, Liverpool player Nat Phillips, he managed 30 minutes or so against Motherwell on Saturday, and Brendan Rodgers says that he came through that fine. Brendan Rodgers was also asked if he was available. He said, yep, he is available. Nat Phillips is available, and asked if Cameron Carter-Vickers would be available if they would risk it. And Brendan Rodgers went on to say, with Cam, we wouldn't risk it unless he was fit. He's come through really well. He's further down the line, further down the road than what we thought he would be at this point. He's had a really good week of training. He's been doing lots of other work out on the field before that. I said it before, his return might have been after the international break, but he's made great progress, said Brendan Rodgers. So we will just assess it and see if he can be in the squad tomorrow evening. If you ask me, I think Brendan's going to pull a little rabbit out of the bag and put Cameron Carter-Vickers in the defence, because let's face it, Phillips hasn't had a lot of game time this season, and this is why I think that Cameron Carter-Vickers will start. The last time that Nat Phillips had a really competitive game was back in January, February this year, which was a long time ago. You want our top players to be had a lot of experience for this game, especially this game. We've got a slight chance that we might be able to take something for it. Tell me what you think in the comments about Brendan Rodgers saying that Cameron Carter-Vickers may be in the squad, and has he just given us a tease? Lazio fans, let's face it, they're not the shy retiring type of fans, but an Italian newspaper, the Italians are obviously taking them to be favourites for the game, even though Lazio haven't been playing too well. But Lazio fans, Celtic fans have seemingly insulted Lazio with the await the extreme right hordes comment from the Green Brigade this afternoon. It's fantastic that the Italian media are picking up the Green Brigade stuff anyway. Celtic fans have sparked a diplomatic incident, the Italian media say, after announcing it is their duty to make a hostile environment against Lazio and their extreme right hordes. In a statement, using an Italian insult, the statement goes on to say from footballitalia.net, it says, these clubs have only met twice before in Europe in 2019. Celtic won both times, 2-1. Celtic fans in the North Club released a statement with a rather unfortunate title, which translates to Lazio. Anyway, the statement itself was no more diplomatic. It went on to say it included a sentence referencing the reputation of a certain subsection of the Lazio Ultras. That's exactly what it says. We have a duty not to rally our own team to make it our home in a hostile environment. Over 900 Lazio fans have purchased tickets for the game, and they'll be in Glasgow tomorrow. The statement creates concerns. It's come on, it's Italian thugs. It creates concerns that Lazio fans might be sought out for clashes in the build-up. Who writes this stuff? Who wrote that? Oh my goodness, come on. The Italians aren't shy in retiring, and come on, if there's going to be anything going on, you can guarantee that they're going to be at the front of it. Anyway, there's another publication, Sport Witness, has been saying that Lazio have come out and said, one of the players has come out and said, it's their own fault if they do not win. Obviously, it's not going to be anybody else's fault if you don't win. Anyway, it's quite interesting to see the way that they've been talking about it, and a little bit of disrespect on both halves, I think. Callum McGregor has also been talking about the fact that he wants to get Celtic Park rocking again. You've got to remember, Callum McGregor will remember times where Celtic Park was pretty much a fortress when he was younger. Callum McGregor is embarking on his 4th UEFA Champions League campaign as a Celtic player. Now, you think the many years he's been at Celtic, it's 4 times in the Champions League is not a lot, considering. Shows you how bad that we've been in Europe over the last few years. After failing for defeat in the opening group stage 2 weeks ago against Feyenoord, there's a real determination with the Hoops squad to end that tomorrow night and get all 3 points against the Serie A side. On the back of some impressive domestic results, including a late show against Motherwell, McGregor feels that the squad is in a much better place to ready to welcome Lazio. The captain says that those little bits where you come through the adversity make the group stronger. That's interesting. That's coming from Celtic. It says it's a perfect game, and it's a perfect under the lights of the Champions League, and it doesn't get any bigger than that. If you can take any positive for the performances, it says you really want to make sure that you're going in the right direction. It says it's a recipe for a big night, and it's one for the players to match that with a performance. Despite McGregor saying that, there is a bit of concerns. Obviously, it's the Champions League, and let's face it, Celtic have got ambitions for being in Europe after Christmas. Now, I've been saying this since before the season started. I think that we need to finish third. If we finish third and then drop down into the Europa and get a little run to Dublin in May. So that's what I think. I think Europa's more at a level. Let's face facts and let's just tell the truth. We're not going to butter it up and say, yeah, let's get to the last 16 in the Champions League. No, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. We're way off that level yet. Come on, we had 2 points last year. We were absolutely humiliated in Europe last year. Let's face facts. Just finishing third this season would be a massive step forward for this team. A massive step forward. This is the highest level. We've had some decent wins in the Europa League, but in this competition, we're due a big performance and a statement win, says Callum McGregor. A statement win. A statement win would just be a win for me. And it's not about laying down markers, it's just making sure that we finish third. We need to finish third and we need to go into the Europa. It is the final year of going into the Europa, dropping down. So Callum also went on to say, look, he says, we won't be changing our approach. Brendan Rodgers also said that. He said, look, it's going to be a different game compared to a league game. You know, they're not going to sit in and try and hit us on the attack. They're not going to sit in for 80 minutes and then have a go the last 20. There's more chance that they're going to try and they'll do a bit of both. They will sit in and defend, as Italian teams do, but they're also going to have a go. They want to win also. You know, they're going to win also. And Brendan was also asked about the goalkeeping situation. If it's still 0-0 with 2 or 3 minutes to go, have they got anybody in mind to mark their keeper? Their goalkeeper, who scored a header in the 90th minute against Madrid in game day 1. So tell me what you think your team will be in the comments. Put your team down in the comments. Tell me what you think your team will be for tomorrow night. And also, what do you think the score will be? I think I'm going to go for 2-1 again. On that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.
Aye, subscribe to One Celtic Fans View. Hail, hail.
Hail. See you later.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up.